So this is the second lesson of your grade 10 mathematics textbook. So this is about square root. Okay, so you may probably know this term which called square root. So before going into this square root, I'll explain this from some basic things that you already know. So you guys know about multiplication since you are in grade 5 even. So we know that 2 into 3 is 6. Yeah, very simple things. Likewise, we know about multiplications and other things. So if we multiply a number by itself, let's check like this: 2 into 2, which is equals 4. Okay, so let's take another one. So 3 into 3, the value is 9. So in this calculation, or this thing, we can write in a special format. Like if we use this, 2 into power 2 is equals 4. Okay, 3 into power 2 is equals 9. Okay, so in the opposite way, we can write square root of 4 is equals 2. Again, here square root of 9 is equals 2. If somebody watch these videos has an advanced knowledge about mathematics, what is this square root is means, the if we write this if I write it here, we write square root of 4. This is very equal to the term which is 4 into the power of half, which means the inverse of this. Okay, so that's an extra thing for this time. But when you are doing different kind of calculations, you will probably know when you are facing your orders and other stuff in the near future. So up to now, it will be enough to know these things. 2 into 2 is 4. Again, in the same way, 4 fourth square root is 2. So likewise, that basic knowledge should be there in order to study this lesson. So here they have explained it in your textbook, like 1 into 1, it's 1 squared. Again, the square of the number, which means square of this number. So this is number. So this is the squared one, and this is the again the square root. Okay. So 2 into 2, 2 squared, 4. Sorry, this is not the square root, this is the square of the number, which means number. Then this is the multiplication, multiply it by itself. Then this is the notation, which is we write like 1 into the power 2, and this is the final value. So 5 into 5 squared, we write in the same way, the value is 25. Okay, so this is some kind of the same things. Then okay, then the sounds get a bit different. Okay, so now you can see, if I take these values, if I take this 25, we can write 25's square root is 5. Okay, 16's square root is 4. Okay, 9's square root is 3. Likewise, you can go on. Up to now, it's smooth and well driven, no problem. So, but now, if we think like this, okay, do these all numbers has a perfect square root value like this? Okay, which means 25 has a perfect square root value, which is 5. Okay, then 16 has a perfect square root value, it's 4. 9 has a perfect square root value, it's 3. So when what will happen if we get a value like 24th square root? can we have a number, a perfect number as the square root? No, right? So fourth square is 16, fifth square is 25. So the 24th square root should be in between of 4 and 5. Okay, so in that sense you can understand that we can't say that there should be a perfect square root value for each and every number. So in this kind of situation, we use different kind of methods to determine what will be the what is the square root value of this number, this kind of numbers. Okay, so let's take one by one. So this one is just like an approximation. So in this case, they are using like here 25, so square root is 5. Okay, it is clear that every number has a square. However, does every positive number have a square root? Let's investigate this. So they are going like this. So this is the case matter that they are going through. So they are saying that they have taken numbers like this. They need to find out the square root of 5. Okay, they need to find out the square root of 5. Okay, so in this case, you know that square root of 4 is 2. Okay, so the 5, the lowermost uh, value which has a perfect square root is 4. So you know that 4's square root is 2. Then again, 6 doesn't has a square root. Okay, then likewise 7 doesn't have, 8 doesn't have, 9 has a square root of 3. So this is the values in between. Okay, 4 and 9. So you first of all take the number as 2, and then you multiply it by itself, which is 2 into the power 2. i'll I'll told you in the beginning that you need to have this knowledge about these notations and kind of things. So 2 into 2, 2 to the power 2, so the value is 4. Okay, so then you go into the first decimal place. It's 2.1, right? 2.1 into 2.1, which is 2.1 into the power 2. Now the value is 4.41. Now you can see the 4.41 is more, 41 is near to 5 than 4. Okay. So then you get 2.2, and the same procedure you get a value like 4.85. Now it's more closer to the 5. Okay. Then 2.3. 2.3 squared is 5.29. Now you notice that your required value 5 has passed. So now you need to get an idea the actual square root of this 5 is should between 2.2 and 2.3. Okay, the 5 4 if 4.84 is here and 5.29 is here, the 5 value should be in a place like here. Okay, so 4.84 square root is 2.2, 5.29 square root is 2.3. So the 5's square root should be in between of these two. But in this case, we use this as an approximation calculation. It means the value is not exact, but we consider the closest one. So in order to find out which is the most suitable value, we need to determine which one, whether this 4.84 or 5.29 is the closest value to 5. So by investigating it, it can be seen that 5 minus 4.84 is 0.16. It means 5 and 4.84 has a gap of 0.16, and 5.29 minus 5 is 0.29, which means 5 and this 5.29 has a gap of 0.29. So the smallest gap is between 4.84 and 5. So in this kind of situation, we use the square root of this value as the square root of 5. Okay, so in this case we write it like this. We do not write 5's square root is equals to 2.2. we write it like 5 square root is nearly equals. This is the symbol that we use. Nearly equals to 2.2. So this is the basic theory how you can uh, go through a method is like an approximation method for a square root value. Okay, so there are some examples you can go through. They may be a bit different and advanced, but those are solved examples, so you can easily understand and go through. So I'll be moving into the next thing, which is the uh, important thing that you will probably get questions and kind of things from this. So this is the method that you need to remember. Actually, this lesson doesn't has a much kind of logical things and things that you need to understand logically and do solvings and kind of things. There are not, but you have to remember things, that you have to memorize these things and how to do. And even in this division method, you need to know and you need to remember the steps. Okay, so in this kind of thing, we will go through this example here. There's no theories, they have explained this using example. So the methodology should be remembered. So in here they ask us to find out the square root of 1764. In this kind of situation, the the methodology is you need to write this value by dividing digits 2 by 2. It means in like this way. If the value is I'll do it in here, 1764. You in the question you have asked to find out the square root of 1764. So the value should be written like this: 17 and 64. Then you have to put this symbol. Then to find out the square root, so first of all you need to determine what is the perfect square root value that can be obtained from a value which is lower and nearest to this 17. It means that 17 doesn't has a perfect square root value. Okay, so but the lowest but nearest 16 has a perfect square root value of 4. Okay, so you need to write 4 here, and again the value which you write here should be written here, and again 4 into 4, it's 16. Okay, so the balance is 1. Then this 6 4 comes down. Then the thing you need to remember is this value. This value that is up here should be multiplied by 2 and written in here. 4 into 2, it's 8. Then there is another value that should be there. The value you write here should be right here too. Okay, so this times this, and this times this should complete the 164 value, and you need to end up with a 0 here. Okay, so if not, you need to go through in further steps. In another calculation I'll explain, but in here you need to put a value x here and x here in a way that is satisfying by multiplying this x into 8x and get this 164 value, and should be end up with a 0. Then this 4x is the square root of 1764. So you need to determine this the x. Okay, so what will be the value that will suit here? So if we can see that there's a 4 in the last digit, so in order to get a 4 by multiplying a number by itself, the first thing we get into our mind is 2, right? as 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 8 is 16. So the difference is 0. Now you can write easily like the square root of 1764 is 42. Okay, so this is the basic thing that is behind this concept. This is the steps that you should follow. Then let's see in the next one, what if you have a decimal value. Now in here the value is 3.61. Okay, 3.61. Then the next rule in here is, if you get a value with a decimal point, let's see, let's take as 102.6978. Okay, so you need to write this in a way like you need to separate the digits 2 by 2 from both from the left to the decimal point and from the right to the decimal point. It means you need to write this act, you need to put decimal point, then 0 2 together, 1 separate, as this doesn't has another digit. So again 6 9 together and 7 8 together. Likewise you need to write, you need to couple the digits from both from the left to the decimal point and right to the decimal point. Okay, so you need to remember that in an advanced calculation you need to follow that. So in this case that has been done. 3.61, 61 has coupled and 3 is separate, as it doesn't has a and has another value. So okay, so 3.61, in the same way you can simplify, only the decimal point come to the exact point which the number which we need to find out the square root has. Okay, so in this case 3.61 square root is 1.9. There's no difference. Okay, so in this case 2737 point, the thing that we need to find is the square root of 2737. So when we finding out this value, first of all 27, the nearest value that which has a perfect square root is 25. 26 doesn't has a perfect square root. The square root which has is 25's square root, which is 5. Okay, 5 into 5 is 25. There's a 2 difference, then 2 here, then 337 comes here, then 237. So the value which is in here is 5. It will be easy if I write it here, right? Yeah, okay, let me 2737. Okay, so it's 25. We write 5 here and 5 here. 5 into 5 25. Then there is another 2 comes here, then again this 37. Okay, then we need to multiply this value by 2 and write here, which is 10. Then another value comes here. Okay, and I need to write it in here also. In this thing the situation is there isn't a number that comes 7 into the last digit by multiplying it by itself. It means square of a number from 0 to 9 doesn't has a square value of a number which 7 has its last digit as its last digit. So we need to write we need to write a value at least smaller than this. Okay, so if I write 3 here and 3 here, the value I obtain will be 3 to 3 9, 3 to 10, it's 309. So it's not satisfying, as this value should be lesser than this 237. Okay, so 3, the value should be less than 3. So then I write 2 here and 2 here. 2 into 2, 4. 2 into 10, it's 204. Then I'll be getting a value like 33 here. Then you can see that this 52 is not the square root of 2737, as this value is not 0. So in this kind of situation, you need to put a decimal point here and also a decimal point here, and you should get a couple of 0. Okay, 52, it means 104, right? 104. Then there's another digit that comes here. Okay, it should come here too. Okay, so 104. So then it can be seen that the suitable value is 3. Okay, we put 3 here. Then 3 into 1004, is we ended up with the value with 3129. Then here also there's a balance. Okay, so the balance is 1000 7 sorry 17,100, right? 17,100. 100 means this is 171. Again you need to get 2 zeros here, so with that one it's 00, right? So here also you need to follow the same procedure. There are 2 zeros here. Again you need to multiply this by 2, which is 1046. Okay, 1046. Then again you need to find another decimal point to here. Okay, so in this case they have find it out like 1. Okay, then the calculation is ongoing. Okay, so you can see that this value is not getting 0, but you get a value up to 3 decimal points which is nearly equals. Okay, so this one will continue. This will never get 0, only this get smaller. Okay, only this get smaller, this is not getting 0. Okay, so the square root of 2737 doesn't has a perfect square root value. Okay, it means in this case this had, okay, 2000 1764 had a perfect square root of 42, but in this case this value doesn't has a perfect square root, so you will end up with the decimal points, few decimal points. So it will be enough you having 3 decimal points, and you will be end up with an answer of 52.316. Okay, so in this calculation you need to practice it. Only knowing the methodology will not help you. You need to do more there are examples, some other. So you need to go through these examples in here, right? They are not using the equal values because this one is not ending up. Okay, 316, so there will be another set of decimal points. So the 52.316 is the nearest value up to 3 decimal points. Okay, so the value is not equal, it's nearly equal. We put in this kind of situation when we are getting a value of not a not perfect value, we are using this nearly equal sign. Okay, so this is also the same kind of situation. So go through these exercises and practice the methodology, and be try to be quick in these calculations. Okay, so in this case, this is not about the methodology that you used in here in this method. This is just about how to use these square root methods for our day-to-day life issues. Okay, this is actually about applications. Okay, so In this case, find the length of a side of a square of area 441 square centimeters. Okay, so you know about area. Okay, square means the value of this side and this side is equal. They are saying that in this kind of in this kind of square, the total area is 441 square centimeters, and we asked to find out the x value. Okay, x value, which means the square root of this 441, as this 441 is equal to x into x is equals 441. This is how we get the area, no? Side of one side into side of another side is equals the area 441. As this is a square, x, these two sides are equal, so we get x into x equals 441, which is x squared is equals to 441. In order to find this x, we need to take the square root of this 441. So the finding of the square root of 441 is the method that you studied in here. Okay, so the method is not changing, but you need to understand the picture and do the calculation with correct methodology. So in here also the examples are same. Okay, so this is the end of your square root uh, topic on your grade 10 textbook. So if you have any questions and if you need to have another lesson on this book very quickly, please put a comment and go to my channel and enjoy the other videos and do your exams well. Thank you very much.